in Las Vegas, we had a great football game where it looked
Yeah.
like both hirings of their defensive staffs for USC and LSU looked like they kind of paid dividends. I would say I'm still a little bit skeptical of both of them a little bit. I thought USC benefited from, having a couple fourth down conversions that they stopped LSU on. How good is Kyron Lacy, by the way? Oh my gosh, Kyron Lacy is so good. Same with Mason Taylor, for that fact as well. I thought Garrett Nessmeyer played well. I thought Miller Moss was spectacular. We've been saying this on the show that Miller Moss is no slouch. And the reason why I took USC plus 4.5 and to win this game on the show is because I thought that there was talent on USC's defense that was being underutilized, and that bringing in a guy like D'Anton Lynn was going to change that. Now, not just D'Anton Lynn, bringing in guys like Kamari Ramsey, he was everywhere. He
Yep.
was everywhere
Fine.
in this game. Kamari Ramsey is a vicious, physical football player, and I loved watching him play on this defense. So we'll see what it looks like going up against these other Big Ten teams that might be, I'm not going to say more physical because LSU's offensive line is really physical, but it'll be interesting to see what this uh, USC defense sees down the road. And on the LSU side, I thought they were better than I thought they were going to be. So credit to them. It's a team. I mean, as a Texas A&M fan, I'm a little bit concerned now for that LSU game. I think that offense looked pretty good. I think both offenses looked good and both defenses looked improved, if that makes sense. And I think that's
Yeah.
a fair assessment. So
For two teams that were replacing Heisman quarterbacks, they looked
yeah,
damn good, especially early. And no, yeah, it was not like a crazy low scoring game, but it was, 10-10 and a half. So it wasn't like it was,
and fourth
35,
downs.
38. Exactly. But my point is like you saw some of that inexperience show up, I thought, in key moments. I saw Miller Moss, missed a guy for a touchdown that led to a field goal. And then, Smyer, you saw him struggle at times too. And with some certain plays or maybe even protection wise. And more specifically, too, on the offense for LSU, I was a little bit frustrated with how they ran the ball down the stretch, and more so throughout the game. I know Emory had 6 yards of carry, but I just didn't feel like they could just run the ball well. And that was something we talked about. Where like Jalen Daniels, that was an unbelievable quarterback, but Daniels was so good on the ground too. That's going to be the biggest loss is replacing those rushing attempts and the production there and what you can do. But holy cow, does USC also have so many weapons? Deuce
Dude,
Robinson, Jacoby Lane. I mean, Kyron Hudson, catch of the year. Zachariah Branch,
unreal. Two of
Lake
them.
McRae at
Jared
tight
Hudson
end,
was unreal.
and Woody Marks too ran the ball really well. I love it. And
You say
you mentioned
McCree
that,
at tight end as well. Lake
yeah.
McCree I thought was awesome as well. Miller Moss, dude, just orchestrating that offense so effectively. It just, dude, this team, week one, obviously not overreacting, but the over 7.5 wins feels pretty good right now. And I think this team might be a problem for some teams in the Big Ten, especially if their defense continues to get better.
Listen, the thing I will say too is with the defense for USC, like two guys we talked about in that linebacker room that needed to take steps up. Mason Cobb, and I thought he played pretty damn well, especially compared to last year. And Eric Gentry, I love how they used him. I
Yeah.
loved how they used him. I talked about how the athleticism he brings and the different things you could do with him. And I mean, not that there was any doubt, but we love Danton Lynn, man. He knows what he's doing there. He
Yeah.
really, really does. And Mascarenes Arnold, he'll settle down for sure. He'll settle down. And then on LSU's side, it's not that they had 8 pressures, so it's not like they had a crazy, terrible defensive line, and they only held them to 27 points. The problem was getting stops when you needed to was the tough spot. But again, I just think I, I I almost feel better about both teams. Is that crazy to say?
Yeah,
Because
dude,
LSU,
that's
I
what I'm
was pretty
saying.
low on. I was
They
pretty low on LSU, and USC obviously confirmed my affirmations about them. But LSU, I don't think it's going to be just a bad football team. And these are two really good football teams. And USC is going to be dangerous with their schedule, and they're going head hunting. I think Lincoln Riley. I almost called Lane Kiffin. Wow, Lincoln Riley. I think is upset, and I think that whole team is offended with how everyone's just writing him off in the Big Ten. And all of a sudden, you look at that schedule, and UC on the road at Michigan.
Yeah.
And that game looks super winnable. Wisconsin looks super winnable at home. On the road at Minnesota, they're not looking good. Penn State at home, you get them at home. Same thing goes for Notre Dame at the end of the year, which is not even a conference game. I mean, damn it, man. It's not crazy to see this USC team click and be a real contender for the playoffs, which I don't think a lot of people had, more so based on the schedule they had. But it's awesome. I mean, we saw a great game. And listen, the joke's on me because I made a joke and Drew did too about the crowd at Allegiant Stadium and how it was going to be. Those USC fans, they traveled and they were loud. Like, it was a fun atmosphere, and you got to give credit to them. And
No Los Angeles traffic, so they were able to get to the game.
they were loving it. Well, what's not to like about Las Vegas, right? But and then the USC team was having fun in the locker room after. I mean, college football, man, it was awesome. Yes, it was neutral site, and I hate everything about neutral site. But this was like a classic college football game where you have like, guys who stuck with their program, Miller Moss and Garrett Nussmeier, developed, worked, learned under great coaches and quarterbacks, and they really got to shine and show off really, really well in this game on a national TV. It was awesome. It was awesome.